did aliens create the blockchain? Because no one really knows who created the technology behind the blockchain, and it's incredible technology. So
Really?
is that something that could have been handed down from from something else? You don't think so? You give me a weird look.
Nah.
Because I think it's like,
so.
I'm gonna butcher the guy's name. It's
Satoshi.
Satoshi, yeah, something like that. Like that's supposedly who created blockchain, but
Okay.
no one really knows. Like it may have been a group of people, blah blah blah, or whatever. But blockchain is allowing for decentralized financing and like how we handle our money and all that stuff. And NFTs and all this stuff, non-fungible tokens, are tied to the blockchain. That's what makes them able to be owned, right? Is because like I can send you a picture and that picture can be shared and saved to your phone a million times.
Yeah.
But that picture, that JPEG or whatever, is not tied to any ownership. You know, it just has the metadata behind the picture of when it was taken, date, location, blah, 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 all that stuff. But if that asset is tied to a actual algorithm or number that is in the blockchain that says there's nothing else like this, is the only one like this that exists. Yes, it can be shared a million times and you can save it on your phone, but all that is then tracked to say this asset is more valuable because more people are sharing it, more people are saving it on their phones and all that stuff. So it's allowed you to track the value of something as it's used in the digital space.
I see. So when someone creates a meme now, they can sell NFTs off that meme.
Yes.
And then if that meme becomes viral and gets used a billion fucking times and I get.
So like Logan Paul. He says, "What a fucking scam." So like Logan Paul, for instance, right? He is doing his Pokemon thing and all that stuff, and through I guess a NFT generator or company or whatever, or host, he has sold his own NFTs. I mean, the guy's made, at this point, he's done it twice. He's made well over $4 million, I believe.
Yeah,
selling NFTs, and on face value, it seems like just scammy shit to me. But as I look into it more, he's essentially saying my entire life, like what he monetizes exists in the digital world. So
right.
his YouTube content, you know, any content he puts out, all these fights that he does and all this stuff, you know, yes, that he's going through those actions in like the real world, right? In real life, but his value is placed in the digital world. So essentially he can sell these NFTs, and if you own them now, if his value continues to increase over the next 10 years, then those NFTs are going to be worth more. So you're essentially buying, in a way, and I'm completely ignorant on this, so if I fuck it up, sue me. In a way, you're buying stock into like Logan Paul by buying the NFTs. And then like, from what I understand, there's certain games and stuff that exist to where you can buy like plots of land in the digital world as well. So then that will go on. So like you guys playing these games and stuff on Twitch and stuff, you don't own anything that your character owns in those games.
Right.
But imagine blockchain and NFTs and Ethereum all being digital allows you to where if you acquire a car in a game, that asset can then be sold and purchased. Like you actually own that. It's not just a part of the game. It's a asset or a item that you own within the digital world.
Right. It's like Ready Player One.
So I think that if you remove the in real life like section of it, and if you see how digital we've become, I think it's very easy to see how NFTs and Ethereum and blockchain and Bitcoin and all that stuff is completely going to change the way that people are living in 10 to 20 years. And people may amass a ton of wealth all in the digital space through Ethereum and stuff. And where that gets interesting is when enough people start valuing Ethereum and all that in real life and start accepting it when you go to buy shirts at a local store or when you go to a restaurant or whatever. Like, you know, it's no different than like credit cards. When they were introduced, everyone is probably like, what the fuck is this digital thing. What do you mean my
Right.
money's stored on something in the air? Like, and then it became widely accepted. So I think we're just at the very, very, very early stages of NFTs, Ethereum, Bitcoin, blockchain, but it is bringing so much value into the digital space that people are going to have to start accepting it as a form of currency and a way to live life. Like, imagine me being able to sell my house for Bitcoin or Ethereum. You know,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anything because I'd have to convert it to US dollars to spend it, you know, at a store or something until
Right.
those stores catch up and start accepting, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum and all
Which
that.
I think it will.
So in which case, then owning an NFT as it gains in value is no different than owning stocks. As it gains in value, you get more dollars, right? So
Yeah.
if you own an NFT and it gains in value, you're going to get more Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever token is used to buy that NFT.
Which, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So
But
so poke as many holes as possible because I think it's an interesting conversation.
no, I totally I get what you're saying, but it's just
Look at Ponder. He's waiting to say it's a scam. Go ahead.
like, why personally for me, why would I want to own a digital like say it's a digital baseball card, right? If I can take a screenshot of it, why can't I just have that? You know?
Because if I own that digital baseball card and you take a screenshot of it and it gets shared, it's value and it's simply
Yeah.
supply and demand.
No, I totally get that. I'm saying like from a personal point of view of it, like if why would I want to buy that digital baseball card when I can just screenshot it? But from a business perspective, it's like, man, there's so much money to make off of this.
Right.
It totally makes sense to me to try and get involved and try to make as much money as I can in it, because I think we are dumb enough to try to value this stuff just because it's you know, like because we just it's in our nature to want something that is of value, no matter if you know, like it just, to me, it doesn't make sense as to why it is valuable. But you know, it's just like with you know, collecting shoes or whatever. It's like, well, what's the point of collecting the shoes if you're not going to wear it? But people find value in just having a particular pair of shoes because of fashion or whatever it may be.
And that's the thing, is like collecting those shoes, I think is that niche market, and it will always be that niche market. And there'll be, you know, thousands and millions of people that find value in collecting and selling and flipping shoes. But that plateaus, right? You know, that's just a niche market. However, NFTs may be a niche market right now, but all the technology that's behind it is opening the eyes to financial institutions and businesses and stuff to say this could very well be the way of the future.
Well, I'm not saying that like NFTs in general will be valuable, right? But if you, like you said, shoes are a niche market. It's just like with anything that's going to be within NFTs, like having a video or a collectible of some sort. There's going to be niche markets within the NFTs, but NFTs as a whole is just like having physical collections as a whole. Collections are not a niche market. As you know, as a whole, there is something of value. People are collecting shit all the time.
But
Right.
but I think it goes way beyond collecting, though. That's the thing. Like right now, it's seen as like baseball cards, sports cards, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think it extends way beyond that because people are starting to stay home and just exist in a digital world. So
Yeah, man.
there's such a need to figure out how to have ownership of things in this digital world, more ownership, and
Right.
how to keep track of what's valuable. It's like, you know, the American dollar wouldn't be valuable if we all as a collective didn't give it value. So as
Yeah.
we all, as a collective, increasingly give Bitcoin, Ethereum, NFTs, and all this stuff value, then it's going to be more widely accepted.
But is there any end to it?
What do you mean by into it?
I mean,
How many?
the digital world is never ending, right?
Well, I mean, you could say that this physical world is never ending either. I mean, there's new technologies. You know, people in
But
1950 weren't thinking they were going to
what
have a
I'm saying is
touchscreen
the reason
iPhone.
why land is so valuable is because there's a finite amount of it.
Yeah.
With
That's what I was about to ask. Like, can I put how many NFTs can I sell on one thing? Let's say I've got a porno mag and it's hot item, you know? And can I sell, is it like supply? Can I just keep selling NFTs on it? Or is it like one NFT per an item?
Well, you have to understand that it's all based on supply and demand. So it's more
Yeah.
advantageous for you to release a limited quantity and that be the only quantity that exists. Like
Yeah.
Logan Paul, the first run that he did, I think he had 3,000 NFTs for sale, and
Oh, okay.
that's all there were.
Okay.
So like with Bitcoin and Ethereum, a Bitcoin token is $50,000 that can be exchanged with another token that's 50,000. Like one Bitcoin is exactly the same as all the other Bitcoin out there.
Right.
They're
Okay.
fungible. They have equal value of each other. So as they're
Yeah.
traded, nothing happens. Versus if
Can
I
you,
own an NFT, then that value can fluctuate based off supply and demand.
right.
And it also means that I can then trade that value for your Bitcoin, or I can trade it for some of your assets or something like that.
God,
so
dude,
just
I could see how you know how easy it would be to fund a movie this way.
but
Look,
yeah, right. Well, I think somebody
Exactly.
tried doing something like that before, right?
Yeah, that was all a scam. That was all a
yeah,
scam.
but but
that was
so
all a scam.
so I guess the way I'm looking at it now is you imagine. Okay, so the first time that Logan Paul put out um what is it called? An NFT, right? First time he put out an
Right.
NFT, which was
A couple weeks
recently,
ago. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yep.
Imagine getting a hold of that and how much money that is going to be worth some way down the line. It's just like buying the very first action comics of Superman, or the first detective comics with Batman. How expensive that is now. Like at the time, it was invaluable. Or
Right.
am I saying that right? Invaluable. It was of very low value, but over the past 80 years or so, it has become worth so much more. Imagine having that very first one of the very first NFTs. Just what was it? You said 3,000? Possessing one of those first 3,000 that he put out, owning that 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, how much that's going to be worth. Because I mean, as stupid as it sounds to me, it's going to be worth money.
It's going to be worth
going to be worth money.
It's going to be worth money, and it's going to get real interesting when it goes beyond these collectible items and stuff like that. So like that I wrote down some notes that I think would provide some good context, and like NFTs, they're indestructible because all NFT data is stored on the blockchain via smart contracts, which Ethereum is a smart contract coin. Um, each token cannot be destroyed, removed, or replicated. Ownership of these tokens is also immutable, which means gamers and collectors actually possess their NFTs, not the companies that create them. This contrasts with buying things like music from the iTunes store, where users don't actually own what they're buying, they just
Right.
purchased a license to listen to the music. Um, since November 2017, there has been $174 million spent on NFTs. Um, so a bunch of rich people have too much money, then they know what to do with it. Essentially, that's what's happening. But it says some NFTs also have the potential to make their owners a lot of money. For instance, one gamer on the Decentraland virtual land platform decided to purchase 64 lots and combine them into a single estate, dubbed the Secrets of Soshi's Tea Garden. That 64 lots combined into one that sold for $80,000 purely because of its desirable location and road access within the game. Another investor parted with $222,000 to purchase a segment of digital Monaco racing track in the F1 Delta time game. The NFT representing the piece of digital track allows the owner to receive 5% dividends from all races that take place on it, including entry ticket fees. So it's like he owns a piece of that digital track. So all these gamers are coming to play on this track, and he's getting dividends based off that. But if people then say, fuck this track, we don't want to fucking race here anymore, then his ownership means kind of nothing, right? So it's it to me, it's how the real world operates, but in digital format, without a Federal Reserve, without banks, without any centralized control, because of the blockchain. And I think the blockchain is going to completely change the way that we live going forward.
Do you know what the most expensive NFT sold is?
I don't. I probably should have looked that up. But it's
I think
$6.6 million. And you know what it was?
It was probably some super low quality person with white hair.
A digital Beanie Baby.
It was a digital artwork of Donald Trump, baby.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
We need to pull this up, man.
Fact check it. Sold for over $6 million. It's a digital artwork of Trump.